Hello and welcome to Chapter 1, Section 6, Exponential Functions. Our essential question for today are what are some of the characteristics of the graph of an exponential function? What we're going to learn is how to graph an exponential growth and decay functions. All right, so these are the two graphs of the two types of exponential functions, growth and decay. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the features that we see on this function. So if we look at this graph on the left, okay, this is the graph of y equals 1.5x. All right, so that is the function, the exponential function. Okay, so notice how it starts really close to 0, and no matter how close you get to the bottom over here, you're never going to get to 0. That's one of the features of an exponential function, is that it will get close to 0. You see how the y value there is 0.035, and then you keep going and it keeps getting lower, closer. But if we were to keep going all the way to the left of this graph, we would actually never get to touch 0. So that is a key feature, as well as here, if we go, as we're going from left to right, which is usually how we read a function, okay, we are getting larger and larger. So this is an exponential growth function, because if we see it from left to right, the graph is going up. Okay, so this is an exponential growth function. Okay, and then another thing is that this is, if we look at our equation, y equals 1.5x, that will be the location of our point when x is 1. So if we look at this green point here, okay, take a look at the y value. We have 1.5, okay, so it'll always be located where our function base value is right there. So like if I move this green point to, like, say 4, right, so the point 1, 4, okay, will, wherever x is 1, the 4 will be the base of our exponential growth function, okay, and that'll be for any value. See, if I leave it at 9.84, my function is y equals 9.84 raised to the power of x. Okay, so that is another key feature there of an exponential growth function. Okay, and it's very similar to our exponential decay function. Okay, so our exponential decay, if we see it here, is a 0.55, which again is still located at the point 1, where x is 1, and then the y value is the base of our function. Okay, but this function is now, if we go left to right, it's not going up, it's coming down, closer and closer to 0, but not quite. This is an exponential decay function. Okay, and this function, okay, an exponential decay, look at, you're going to be able to try to move the values, okay, but they only stay between 0 and 1. It doesn't go more than 1. Obviously, it stops at 0.9, and then it gets as low as 0.1. So these are all the numbers between 0 and 1. These numbers between 0 and 1 give us an exponential decay function, meaning that's going to go down. Okay, now if it's greater than 1, right, so 1.1 or larger, then it's going to be an exponential growth function. Okay, so that's how we're going to be able to identify the difference between these two functions. All right, so here we're going to look at this function, and we're going to determine first whether it's a growth or a decay function, and then we're going to go ahead and graph that function right into this graph on the right. Okay, so what we have here, we have the function y equals 2x. Okay, so remember, from this we experienced, okay, any number greater than 1 is going to be a growth function. If the number is between 0 and 1, it's going to be a decay function. So this number here, the base number is 2, so that means that it's going to be a growth function, okay, because our value is 2. All right, so now, in order to create a graph for our function, okay, we know it's going to be going something like this, right? It's going to grow. And also, we know that it's going to pass through the point 1, 2, right? Because that is a key part of this function. Whatever the y value is, that's what the base is. So at 1, okay, we know that our graph is going to be located at the point 1, 2, right? So that's going to go there. All right, then we have the point 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to substitute it into the function. So we're going to have 2 to the power of 2, which is 4. So our y value is 4. So we're going to have another point here. And then if we go back to 0, okay, so let's do 0. Y equals 2 to the power of 0. We know that anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So 0 is going to be located at 1. And then for these, we're going to go ahead and use, you can use our calculator, or if we know how negative numbers work, we know this is going to be, it's going to be a reciprocal. So we're going to do positive 1/2, or 0.5. It's going to be halfway through that point. And then if we change our -1 to a -2, it's going to be 1 over 2 to the power of 2, which is 1 over 4. All right, so that's going to be our graph. And if we check that, you see how all the points that I graphed on there pass through our exponential growth and decay function. All right, and then we have this one, okay, which the function is y equals 1/2 to the power of x. So 1/2 to the power of x, because 1/2, the base, is less than 1, that means that this is going to be a decay function and it's going to go down, something like that. And because we know that the base is 1/2, we know that at 1, we're going to have 1/2. So at 1, we're going to have 1/2. And then we fill in the rest of the table the same we did the other one. So y equals 1/2 to the power of 0. That one is 1. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. If we do 1/2 to the power of 2, that's going to be 1/2 times 1/2, which is 1/4. So we need a point at 0, 1, at 2, 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to keep on solving for the others. This is going to be to the power of -1, which then is going to cause it to reciprocate. So our fraction is going to flip to 2 over 1 to the power of 1, okay, which is just 2. So the answer for that one is 2. So at -1, 2. And then for -2, it's going to do the reciprocal, and then it's going to be to the power of 2. So 2 to the power of 2 is going to give us 4. -2, 4. All right. So that right there, once we hit submit, should be the graph of our function. All right, so that is the end of section 1.6. In this lesson, you should have learned what exponential functions are. You should have learned a little bit about exponential growth functions and exponential decay functions. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to put them in the comment section down below.